Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedom and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Mat Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country. In the courtrooms of America, Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedom.
Liberty Counsel files a petition to the United States Supreme Court on our ObamaCare case. This is a case that is the most comprehensive of its kind in the country, and it has the potential to overturn the Obamacare law. Hi, I'm Mat Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel. Joining me to discuss this Obamacare litigation is Matt Barber, vice president of Liberty Counsel Action. Matt, we've been involved in this since the very beginning. We were involved in working to stop Obamacare going back to 2009. Many people got involved. But unfortunately, it barely passed in the House and the Senate. And then we filed suit on the very first day that Obamacare was signed into law on March 23, 2010. We were in federal court. This case now, I've argued it before the Federal Court of Appeals. It went to the United States Supreme Court. After the decision in 2012, the Supreme Court ordered the Federal Court of Appeals to rehear our case. I've argued it again. We've got a decision. Now we filed our petition to the U.S. Supreme Court, and we will hear sometime later this fall whether they take the case.
Well, people may recall back in June of 2012, I think America, the world, was shocked when Chief Justice John Roberts apparently changed his vote and went ahead and voted to uphold the individual mandate on Obamacare as a tax. I think people were shocked. I had a sneaking suspicion because he has articulated multiple times that he is of the mindset of the judicial philosophy where the courts should do everything it possibly can not to interfere and overturn a legislative action. I wish the leftists on the court would exercise that kind of restraint. In this case, I think he missed the mark. I wondered if he thought that Romney was going to be elected and it was going to be repealed through the legislative process. Well, now he gets likely a second bite at the apple. I suspect Chief Justice Roberts may be looking forward to that second bite of the apple, especially now that we've seen a year and a half or so later just how unsustainable and how just incoherent this whole Obamacare thing is. They can't even unroll it on time.
Yeah, no. In fact, this case is alive and well moving forward because at least 5 justices in late 2012, at least 5, there may be more, agreed that our case should be reheard at the Federal Court of Appeals. Now, our case includes the challenge to the individual mandate. Of course, the Supreme Court already made a ruling, wrongly, I believe, clearly wrong on that issue. But it also includes a challenge to the employer mandate and other aspects. You've heard a lot about Hobby Lobby. Now, Hobby Lobby's case came in later, and Hobby Lobby's case actually challenges a section of the employer mandate. It doesn't challenge the entire employer mandate. It challenges only the portion that requires employers to fund abortion and the abortion-inducing drugs. That's what it's challenging on from a religious free exercise argument. Our case includes that challenge, but it challenges the entirety of the employer mandate. So we're challenging the fact that Congress doesn't have the authority to pass any of the employer mandate, irrespective of the abortion funding, for all employers, secular and religious, no matter what your position is on abortion, that the entire mandate is beyond Congress's authority. Just like Congress doesn't have the authority under the Commerce Clause to force people to buy an unwanted product, they don't have the authority to force employers to buy an unwanted product. And unlike the fact that it was upheld as a tax in the individual mandate, here the penalties are so high, up to $15,000 per day per person, and per day, per employee per day. That goes way beyond a tax. That's punitive.
Yeah.
So the entire employer mandate is unconstitutional. Also, we argue that, yes, the forced funding of contraception / abortion-inducing drugs is unconstitutional because it violates religious free exercise. And finally, the third thing is the individual mandate also violates religious free exercise because a number of those plans will force employees to pay a fund, or people who are covered if you're in the exchange, to pay money directly to a fund that funds abortion.
Right. And, we don't say that this is the most comprehensive case against abortion care because we like to hear ourselves say it. It, in fact, is the most comprehensive case against Obamacare, rather. And there's also the aspect of the origination clause. What are the details on that?
Yeah, that is not part of our petition to the U.S. Supreme Court, but it was part of the argument that we added in the lower courts, and that is this, that Congress did not originate this in the House. They originated it in the Senate. But here's the main thing, is that the entire employer mandate's unconstitutional. Yeah. The forced funding of abortion violates religious free exercise, and the forced funding of abortion violates individuals, because for the first time in history, individuals will now be forced to pay a direct amount of money every month, in addition to your premiums, that goes into a segregated fund that funds only abortion. So you can trace your money directly to abortion. It doesn't go into a general fund, some of which funds other things, and some funds abortion. It goes into a fund that only funds abortion.
Yeah, it's unconscionable. But we have seen that, we've talked about that on other issues for months, for years, and increasingly we see attacks on the freedom of conscience, and nobody, no employer, no individual should be forced against their will, against their conscience, to help pay for, to become complicit in abortion homicide, which Obamacare undeniably mandates, and that is unconstitutional on its face. And so, Matt, as we see that this Obamacare monstrosity is literally going to bankrupt America. It is a complete and utter disaster. It's so big and so out of control, they can't even roll out the portions President Obama is just willy-nilly, unilaterally changing things and moving dates and abusing his own authority. This gives the United States Supreme Court to do something good, but not in an activist way, but simply to interpret the law as it was intended to be interpreted, to apply the United States Constitution, and do away with this Obamacare disaster once and for all.
And if we win on the employer mandate, gutting the entire employer mandate, it's basically like a car with no engine to run it, because that means none of the employers would be forced to fund Obamacare. And we know, because of the impending implementation of Obamacare, that a number of employers are not hiring. They just simply cannot hire because they don't know what the cost will be. In other places, they know that the cost is going to be enormous, and consequently, they can't afford it. So what they're doing is, some are moving all of their employees out. They're just not covering them. Others are saying certain dependents we're not going to cover. University of Virginia is doing that, and also another national company is doing that. And others are just simply saying, we're going to reduce people to part-time, below 30 hours, because we just can't afford it. Now, for Liberty University, as an example, it impacts Liberty University several ways. Liberty University already has good insurance. We represent Liberty University, and we represent two individuals. They already have good coverage. Obamacare is going to come in and say, well, you need to now have certain other things that are completely unnecessary. But Obamacare is also going to force Liberty University to fund abortion. Yeah. Now, Liberty University was founded by Dr. Jerry Falwell, and ultimately on the belief that God is the creator of life, and abortion is wrong. It's murder. Liberty University cannot and will not participate in murder, abortion. So what Obamacare says is that if you want to continue your mission, Liberty University, Hobby Lobby, whatever it is, whatever other company it is, you've got to violate your religious beliefs. That's unprecedented. We've never come to that kind of clash, that train wreck with religious freedom as we have with Obamacare.
Well, and if you don't, the penalty is that we shut you down, essentially, because it is so punitive, the fees and the penalties, as you point out, ultimately ending up being in the tens and hundreds of millions of dollars. No business can operate with these kind of punitive measures taken against for a refusal to violate one's conscience and become complicit in homicide, something completely and utterly counter-Christian. So they clearly were also saying that this is punitive.
Yeah, and so, I mean, this is there's no one, the vast majority of people, and more as they learn about it, do not support Obamacare. This is the best litigation challenge in the country, the best hope from a litigation standpoint, in addition to our efforts to try to delay and defund and repeal Obamacare, which we're continuing to do. This is the best chance in the country to literally gut Obamacare. Pray for this case. It is called Liberty University versus Liu. It used to be Liberty University versus Geithner when he was the head of the Treasury. Liberty University versus Liu. It's Liberty Counsel's case against Obamacare. Pray that the justices take this case. We'll know sometime later this fall. And also that, in fact, we win and kill Obamacare. Go to Liberty Counsel's website, lc.org. This case has been enormously complicated and expensive. We need not only your prayers, but your financial support to continue this battle against Obamacare. Stand with us as we continue to advance life, liberty, and family. Go to lc.org.
You have been listening to Faith and Freedom with Liberty Counsel. We hope that we have motivated you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedom. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email updates. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.